Like school, e-learning.
This is the last question for the how-to guide for TOEFL. Question number 6. There's only 6 questions in the whole speaking part of the exam. And this is the last one, so good job. Question number 6 is also called an academic task, just like question number 4. It's a lecture that happens inside a classroom, and you get to summarize the lecture in 60 seconds. So there's only a listening and a speaking component. There's no reading. This lecture, however, can be anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes long, and you only have 60 seconds to speak. So it's really important that you read and listen to the question really, really carefully, because it'll tell you how to answer the question. Sometimes there's, 5 things a lecture talks about, but you only have to talk about 2. So it's really important to read it really carefully so you answer the question correctly, so you don't waste any time, because 60 seconds is not a lot of time to summarize a big, long lecture. Now, there's usually 2 ways the lectures are formatted. So there's 2 ways you should go about taking notes while the lecture is going. The first is like this. The lecture will give a definition and then examples and details. So a definition of a type of architecture, and then it'll be like this type of architecture, and it'll give some history. An example is the Empire State Building, and tell you about the Empire State Building. The second type is the Sears Tower, and it'll give you more information about that. So this is what I call the definition and example style of the lecture. It talks about one idea and just gives examples and details to that one idea. The second type is a compare and contrast. It talks about 2 different things, 2 different types of architecture, like Victorian and, mid-century British, something like that. So there's type A, there's definition X and definition Y. And there's, this sort of have the same sort of examples, but they're different. So question X, if you look at Victorian architecture, it has big windows, but with mid-century design, it has small windows. Or Victorian architecture will have, a porch that goes all the way around the house, wrap around the porch, whereas mid-century doesn't have porches. Something along those lines. That there's 2 different ideas or 2 different examples, and they compare and contrast them. So this is a good way to organize your thoughts and organize the 2 main ideas in the lecture so you can communicate it efficiently. So if you take good notes, this question doesn't have to be really difficult. What is really important, however, is that you read the question so you can discern the important information from the not important information, and you take clear notes. And so therefore you really need to listen very carefully. This question tests your listening skills just as much as it tests your speaking skills. And so that's why some of my students think it is the most difficult. But if you practice, I'm sure you'll do very well. Good luck.